It's a crisp autumn afternoon at Willow Creek Elementary, a modest school nestled in a sleepy Midwestern town. The playground is alive with the usual chaos of recess, kids shrieking with glee, dodgeballs flying, and the faint hum of a drone, delivering lunch trays because, it's 2025. Mrs. Clara Thompson, a veteran teacher with a perm as unyielding as her classroom rules, surveys the scene from her perch by the swings. She's been teaching fourth graders for 27 years, and she's seen it all: tantrums, scraped knees, even that one kid who tried to barter his math homework for a live frog. But today, at precisely 3:12 p.m., she witnesses something entirely new: a hulking, 10-foot-tall alien diplomat from the Krillaxian Cultural Exchange Program. Think praying mantis meets overzealous Jim Brolooms over a scrawny human kid named Toby Miller. Toby, a 9-year-old with a mop of curly hair and a notorious habit of sneaking extra cookies from the cafeteria, has apparently committed the grave sin of hogging the slide. The Krillaxian, senior envoy Zichther, clicks its mandibles in disapproval. Insolent larva, it booms, its voice like a kazoo amplified through a megaphone. You will relinquish the recreational apparatus immediately. Toby, unfazed, crosses his arms. It's called a slide, bug face, and I was here first. The other kids gasp. Mrs. Thompson's coffee thermos slips from her hand. Before she can intervene, Zichther's segmented arm swings down with a thwack, sending Toby sprawling into the mulch. A collective silence blankets the playground, broken only by the faint buzz of Zichther's translator chip recalibrating. 6 months earlier, Willow Creek Elementary had been selected as a flagship for the Krillaxian Cultural Exchange Program, a galactic initiative to foster interspecies harmony. The school board had been ecstatic, envisioning grants, prestige, and maybe even a holographic trophy for the trophy case. The Krillaxians, insectoid beings from a planet of rigid hierarchies, were supposed to teach the kids about interstellar cooperation. What the brochures failed to mention was that Krillaxian parenting involves a lot more, let's call it tactile reinforcement, than Earthlings are used to. Mrs. Thompson sprints toward Toby, her orthopedic sneakers squeaking like a flock of distressed pigeons. Ambassador Zichther, she snaps, her voice sharp enough to cut through the alien's exoskeleton. That was completely unacceptable. Zichther tilts its head, its compound eyes glinting like a disco ball. The juvenile displayed defiance, it says, as if explaining why 2 + 2 = 4. On Krillaxia, such behavior is corrected swiftly to ensure order. Its mandibles twitch, almost smugly. The other Krillaxian younglings, miniature versions of Zichther with slightly less intimidating mandibles, shuffle nervously, their antennae drooping. Toby, meanwhile, is back on his feet, brushing mulch off his Pokemon hoodie. His cheek is red, but his eyes are blazing with that peculiar mix of defiance and mischief that only a kid who snuck cookies past a lunch monitor can muster. You hit like my grandma's slipper, he mutters, loud enough for the other kids to snicker. Mrs. Thompson, barely containing her fury, ushers Toby toward the school. We're calling your mother, she says, her tone promising a reckoning. As she dials, she notices something odd. Toby's emergency contact file has an extra number listed, one with a country code she doesn't recognize, and at the bottom, in bold red text, priority contact protocol, clearance level 8 require. 200 miles away, in a nondescript office park that Google Maps claims is a pet grooming salon, a woman named Elena Martinez is analyzing thermal imaging from a drone circling a suspiciously quiet warehouse in Eastern Europe. Her desk is cluttered with coffee mugs, a framed photo of Toby holding a lopsided clay pot from art class, and a keyboard that's definitely not standard issue. When her secure phone buzzes with Willow Creek's number, her heart skips a beat. She answers before the second ring. This is Martinez. Mrs. Martinez. This is Clara Thompson, Toby's teacher. Comes the voice, tight with urgency. There's been an incident. An alien diplomat struck Toby during recess. He's okay, but Elena's hand is already on her tactical vest, slung over the back of her chair. Struck how? She asks, her voice calm but edged with something that makes the air in the room feel heavier. A backhand. I think the Krillaxian called it discipline. Toby's in the nurse's office now. Elena's fingers dance across her desk's hidden touchscreen, pulling up files labeled Krillaxian Diplomatic Corps and Willow Creek Security Assessment. Her other phone, disguised as a beat-up iPhone, but wired to a satellite network that officially doesn't exist, lights up with coded text, Overwatch active. Assets on standby, ETA 15 minutes. She takes a deep breath, her eyes flicking to Toby's photo. Keep him in the nurse's office, she says. No one, especially not the Krillaxians, gets near him until I'm there. Understood. Mrs. Martinez, they're diplomats. I don't think, I said. Understood. Her voice is still polite, but it's the kind of polite that makes you check if your will is up to date. Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Thompson stammers. Elena hangs up and presses a concealed button under her desk. A voice crackles through her earpiece. Command, this is Raven. Go ahead. I need a full rundown on the Krillaxian delegation at Willow Creek Elementary, Elena says, already slinging a go bag over her shoulder. Numbers, armaments, comms traffic, and get me their diplomatic immunity status, every loophole, every clause. Copy that. Raven, should we prep containment? She glances at Toby's photo again. Not yet, but tell the team to pack. For a bug hunt. Back at Willow Creek, the school nurse, Mrs. Peggy Larson, is having the weirdest day of her 20-year career. She's used to scraped knees and the occasional allergic reaction to mystery meat, but now she's got a 9-year-old, with a bruised cheek and a cryptic call from his mother that sounded like it came straight out of a Tom Clancy novel. Stay put, Peggy, Elena had said. And if anyone asks, this call never happened. Peggy blinks at her computer, which has just flickered to display Toby's medical file, except it's not the usual one. Alongside his peanut allergy and vaccination records, there's a section labeled Operational Protocols with phrases like extraction priority and threat level assessment. Before she can process it, the screen reverts to normal. Her phone rings again, this time from County Health Services. Nurse Larson, this is Dr. Reynolds, a crisp voice says. We're sending a medical team to evaluate a student incident. 8 to 10 minutes. Ensure the child remains in your care. I didn't report anything. Peggy protests. Priority medical situation. Keep him isolated. The line goes dead. Peggy looks at Toby, who's swinging his legs on the exam table. Ice pack pressed to his cheek. Your mom's coming, kiddo, she says. Toby grins. Is she gone? Zap the bug guy. Peggy laughs nervously. I don't think she's bringing a bug zapper. Sweetie, outside, a black SUV rolls into the parking lot. It looks like every other parent's car, except for the reinforced chassis and tinted windows that block infrared scans. Elena steps out, her yoga pants and hoodie doing a poor job of hiding the fact that she moves like someone who could disassemble a tank with a paperclip. Her earpiece hums with updates. Raven, this is Overwatch. Target's still in the building. For guards, to armed with Krillaxian stun batons illegal under the exchange agreement. No backup called yet. Copy, Elena replies, her smile sharp enough to cut glass. Let's give them a warm welcome. Principal Harold Jenkins is sweating through his discount suit as he ushers Elena into his office. He's dealt with angry parents before, usually over detention disputes or cafeteria food complaints, but the woman sitting across from him is different. Her posture is to perfect, her eyes to sharp, like she's mentally cataloging every exit and potential weapon in the room. Mrs. Martinez, he begins, I assure you, we're handling this through diplomatic channels. Diplomatic channels, Elena repeats, her tone as warm as a winter breeze. Tell me, Principal Jenkins, are you familiar with the Interstellar Juvenile Safety Accord? He blinks. The what? Article 9, Section 2, She continues, pulling out a tablet that looks like it could hack NASA. It states that physical harm to a minor by extraterrestrial personnel voids diplomatic immunity. Signed by Earth last year, right before the Krillaxian set up shop here. She swipes through screens faster than Jenkins can process. Did Zichther read the fine print? Jenkins feels his tie tightening like a noose. I'm sure there's a misunderstanding. Down the hall, in a classroom repurposed as a Krillaxian diplomatic suite, Zichther is getting an earful from his security chief, Vaxler. Sir, the human's guardian is here. Vaxler clicks, his antennae twitching. Our scans show she's carrying encrypted comms gear and something that might be a concealed blade. Zichther's mandibles clack dismissively. A single human female. Handle it. She's not alone, Vaxler says, his exoskeleton paling. We've detected vehicles circling the school disguised as utility trucks, but they're emitting military-grade signals. Before Zichther can respond, Jenkins enters with Elena. Ambassador Zichther, Jenkins says, his voice cracking. This is Mrs. Martinez, Toby's mother. Zichther towers over her, his compound, eyes unreadable. Your offspring was insubordinate, he says. Krillaxian protocol demands correction. Elena sits, uninvited, and crosses her legs. Correction, she says, her voice dripping with mock curiosity. That's a funny way to say assault. She taps her tablet, and the room's projector flickers to life, displaying a document titled Terran Krillaxian Exchange Agreement. Section 14, Subsection C. Physical discipline of human minors is prohibited and constitutes a breach of diplomatic status. Want me to read it in Krillaxian? I've got the app. Zichther's mandibles freeze. Vaxler whispers something urgent, his antennae practically vibrating. That won't be necessary, Zichther says, his translator chip straining to keep up. This was a cultural misunderstanding. Elena leans forward, her smile all teeth. You slapped my son, in front of witnesses, on American soil. You know what that means, don't you? Jenkins, now visibly sweating, tries to intervene. Mrs. Martinez, perhaps we could. I'm not done, she says, her eyes never leaving Zichther. Subsection D covers retaliation against families. It's very specific about consequences like, say, extradition to a human court. She pauses, letting the words sink in. Tell me, Ambassador, how many guards do you have stationed here? 4, 2 in the hall, 2 in the lot, carrying stun batons you didn't declare. Zichther's exoskeleton audibly creaks. How could you? Your security report to the State Department was, let's say, incomplete. Elena says, you didn't mention the batons. Or the fact that your guards' comms are broadcasting on a frequency reserved for military ops. The room is silent except for Jenkins' labored breathing. Zichther's confidence is crumbling faster than a stale cookie. What do you want? He finally asks. Elena's smile doesn't waver. I want you to understand that you picked the wrong kid to mess with, and the wrong mom. Before Zichther can respond, the school's PA system crackles. Attention, all staff, evacuate immediately due to a suspected gas leak. Jenkins looks confused, but Elena's earpiece hums. Raven, this is Overwatch. Krillaxian extraction team inbound. 3 ships. 5 minutes out. Elena stands, her demeanor shifting from suburban mom to something straight out of a Jason Bourne movie. Looks like your friends are crashing the party, she says to Zichther. Bad move. Outside, the gas leak evacuation is in full swing, with kids streaming toward the soccer field under Mrs. Thompson's direction. Toby, still in the nurse's office, peeks out the window and spots the black SUV. That's Mom's car, he says, grinning. She's gone a roast. That bug guy, Peggy, now thoroughly freaked out, mutters, I need a vacation. In the diplomatic suite, a new figure enters, Agent Carter, FBI, holding a badge and looking like he's regretting every life choice that led to this moment. Ambassador Zichther, you're under arrest for assault and violation of the Diplomatic Security Act. This is preposterous. Zichther clicks, his mandibles flaring. I have immunity. Not anymore, Elena says, handing Carter a badge that makes his eyebrows shoot up. Defense Intelligence Agency. This is now a national security matter. Jenkins, now slumped in a chair, mutters, a gas leak would have been so much easier. The federal building where Zichther is being held is a fortress of bureaucracy with more security cameras than a reality TV set. Inside a soundproof conference room, Zichther faces Agent Carter and Elena, whose tactical suit makes her look like she could bench press the alien and his ego. Carter slides a dossier across the table. Let's talk about who you're dealing with, Ambassador. The dossier contains photos of Elena, or rather, Agent Raven in various high-stakes ops, disarming a warlord in Somalia, sabotaging a rogue AI in Seoul, even infiltrating a Krillaxian black market ring that was smuggling plasma grenades disguised as fruit baskets. You struck the son of a woman who once neutralized an entire cartel with a spork, Carter says. Deadpan. Zichther's antennae droop. She's retired. Retired, Elena says, but not rusty. She leans forward. You thought you could discipline my son like he's one of your larvae. Big mistake. Earth parents don't mess around, Carter sighs. She's not kidding. We've got 50,000 former operatives in suburbia, soccer moms, little league coaches, even the guy who runs the ice cream truck. They're all trained to protect their kids. Zichther's exoskeleton pales to a sickly gray. This is unprecedented. Oh, it gets better, Elena says, pulling up a map on her tablet. Every Krillaxian outpost on Earth is under surveillance. Your embassy, your trade hubs, even that shady cultural center in Nevada. One call, and they're all toast. The building shakes as Krillaxian ships land on the roof. Carter's radio crackles, multiple hostiles in restricted airspace. Rules of engagement. Elena's eyes narrow. Tell them they've got 30 seconds to back off, or we'll show them how Earth parents handle uninvited guests. 3 days later, the Galactic Council convenes in a chamber that looks like a sci-fi convention designed by an overzealous architect. High Chancellor Krillaxian, a squid-like being with a penchant for dramatic pauses, glares at Zichther. You struck a human child, he says, his tentacles curling in disapproval. The offspring of an operative who once dismantled a pirate fleet with a hairpin. The chamber buzzes with murmurs. Counselor Vixara of the Nebula Coalition leans forward. Did you even read Earth's cultural briefings? Their parents are a defense network disguised as civilians. Zichther, now a nervous shade of chartreuse, stammers. We underestimated their parental instincts. Underestimated? Krillaxian snorts, a sound like a walrus sneezing. Earth has weaponized parenthood. Their children are fearless. Because their guardians are lethal, we're revising all diplomatic protocols. Within 48 hours, a galaxy-wide memo is issued. Urgent, Earth interaction guidelines. Do not engage human children. Their parents may be former operatives with skills ranging from espionage to improvised explosives. Treat all suburban humans as potential threats. Back at Willow Creek, Toby returns to class, sporting a new backpack and a story that makes him the coolest kid in 4th grade. My mom's like a secret agent, he brags, showing off a bruise he's oddly proud of. The other kids nod, impressed but not surprised. After all, their parents are probably just as terrifying. They're just waiting for the right alien to find out. As for Zichther, he's reassigned to a desk job on Krillaxia, sorting asteroid mining permits and avoiding any mention of Earth. His final report is short. Humans are not what they seem. Their parents are a galaxy-class threat. Proceed with extreme caution. And in a quiet suburban home, Elena tucks Toby into bed, her tactical earpiece tucked away in a drawer. Night. Kiddo, she says, ruffling his hair. Night, Mom, Toby replies. You're kinda awesome, she smiles. You have no idea.